I'm Ethan, and today I'm reviewing El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie. Now, I want to review this without spoiling Breaking Bad as much as possible. But there are a few things I have to establish, because this takes place after the events of the series finale. I'm going to let a little pause for you to exit out if you really don't want any Breaking Bad spoilers. But here's what happens. Jesse is captured by a gang of drug dealers who are forcing him to make meth for them. He escapes, and from there, we don't know what happens. This movie follows the events of what happens after he escapes and how he manages to restart his life and begin anew. So, his goal after he is freed is to move to Alaska. He knows someone that can reset his life. This was established in the series for a fee of about $125,000, if I recall correctly. So it's him scraping together through a variety of different ways. It's a simple premise, but it goes a long way. You go around following Jesse through different things mentioned throughout the show, and you really get closure on a number of characters, such as a couple of his friends, Jesse, of course. There are a few mentions to other characters, such as Saul Goodman, and what happens with all of them. But for the most part, it does center around Jesse entirely. Now, I almost want to say it's possible to watch this movie without seeing any of Breaking Bad. I mean, maybe have someone there just to fill you in on a few things. But I think you could probably understand what was going on and use deductive reasoning to figure out how Jesse got to this scenario. If anything, it actually might make the movie more interesting if you were to not have seen Breaking Bad and have to piece together the story like a Tarantino film. But that's an experiment I might have to try with someone else, because I've seen Breaking Bad, absolutely loved it, 10 out of 10. So now that the story's been established, let's talk about what I like. I really like the cinematography of it. It follows the same kind of style of the show. It'll do flashbacks explaining things and then cut back, but not quite explain what was going on in the flashback, and you sort of have to piece things together yourself. There's also lots of just really cool kind of desert shots, wide angles, close-ups, all that cinematography jargon that most people tend to ignore, but does help immensely in how a movie feels. Overall, it feels like a continued episode of Breaking Bad, or 2 episodes, really. It's a feature-length film, and I think that's great. I would much rather have the movie feel a lot more like the show than like some big grand spectacle. It gives great closure and ends the story on a... I won't say what kind of note it ends on. I'll leave that for you to see. When it comes to ranking it, there's nothing inherently wrong with it. Matter of fact, I saw very few flaws, but total entertainment value, I'd say it's about a 9 out of 10. That one extra point really isn't docked for anything. It's more of just how much entertainment I got out of it. I don't see any critically wrong problem. I don't see anything wrong with this film from a critical point of view, and I highly recommend you watch it if you are, or maybe even aren't a fan of Breaking Bad. If you aren't and don't care for Breaking Bad spoilers, go ahead and give it a shot. Have someone who's seen the show help you fill in some gaps and piece it together yourself and see if you get a unique experience from it than the person next to you. See ya.